This is Paintball Question Time, video series where you guys send me in your questions by using hashtag PBQT like that right there. You can use it on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, social media platforms like that. I will find those hashtags and then answer them here on Paintball Question Time. So first we have 3 questions today. We're gonna start with James Pullman. James is gonna ask, I am a bigger guy and I'm looking for a pack, but have no clue what pack will fit. Is there one that has the biggest belt? Then Molten Teeth. I'm looking at stocking up on pods for my son and I. What should I get? Then Simon Dell asked, I want to upgrade packs and I can't decide if I should get a strapless style or one without straps. What do you think? So James, you have kind of a common problem, right? I think that a lot of people, when they're looking at purchasing packs, whether they're skinny people like myself or maybe you're larger and need a bigger style pack, it's kind of just hard to decide based on just looking at them. I mean, a lot of these manufacturers do not include that belt length. So you don't really know until you buy it and try it on whether the thing's gonna fit correctly. And I think that a trend that I've seen with a lot of these paintball harnesses is that the higher end ones tend to fit a little bit smaller. So we'd say like the HK Army Zero Gravity packs, their higher end stuff, or like the Carbon CC packs, they're gonna have a little bit smaller or shorter belt. So they're tending to fit like those tournament players, those more athletically fit and more athletic build players. So I find that like those mid-range packs, that stuff in like that $30, $40, $50 price, typically have a little bit longer belt. I know that the Dye Jetpack, for instance, is the longest belt that I have ever come across. They're very long, and I think that they're gonna fit most people well. If the thing is still not big enough though, there are different manufacturers, like say Valken makes some, HK Army makes some, belt extenders that are just really like a longer piece of Velcro that you can just put on that belt to just make the belt a little bit longer. So even if you have a pack right now, maybe that doesn't fit well, just getting that belt extender can help add on, an extra 12 or 24 inches, just kind of depending on which belt length extender you get. So there's a complete pack option. I like the Dye Jetpack that has a very long belt, or maybe some belt extenders. So I'll put a link down in the description to some belt extenders and to the Dye Jetpack. And then Molten Teeth wants to know what kind of pods they should stock up on. So really there's like, we'll say 2 different main style pods, right? We have the traditional old school classic pods that have the same style lid, same body, everything that they've had for a very long time. And then we have these newer pods that are having these locking style lids. So like Dye make the Dye lock lid, which has a little bit of a lever you have to pull down to open the lid. And then HK Army and Virtue have their pods that lock as well. So those ones you just push a button and the lid should pop open. So I kind of like the traditional, like normal style pods. I like how they're $2 to $3 because I'm losing them all the time, right? Like I seem to go to the paintball field and somehow always miss like 1 or 2 pods when I come home. So I like that cheaper price, mainly because I'm not losing $6 and $7 like some of these locking pods. And I like that more traditional lid. I like how I can open the lid a little bit easier from multiple angles. And just in general, I like how that lid pops open a little bit easier. But on the locking style lids, you're definitely gonna have that increased cost. They're getting up to that $7 price for each pod. But having that locking lid, a lot of people like. They like how you can just push the button, they pop open, and they're secure, right? You're not gonna get that thing popped open accidentally. You're not gonna like bang it on the table and it's not gonna pop open. So having that locking lid, while I think it's a little bit harder to open, will definitely help keep those pods and that paint a little bit more secure. So I think picking which style you like, if you like that locking lid or that classic one. So I like those classic ones, and I think Dye Alpha pods are for sure the best. The Dye Alpha pods are made very, very well, and they're priced very well. And I think for the locking style lid, I would probably have to go with the HK Army ones. I'm not a big fan of the lock mechanism on the Dye pods or the Virtue pods. I find that the HK pods are a little bit more consistent with their like opening locking mechanism. So I like the Dye Alpha pod and those HK Army locking pods. But really like all the regular pods are fine, and then all the locking ones are fine too. I don't think there's one that's just terrible that you should stay away from. So kind of buy what you want. And then Simon wanted to know whether he should get a strapped pack or a strapless one. So I don't know. There's kind of pros and cons obviously to both of those. So I prefer the strapped pack, mainly because I like those old school style pods. So I like those old pods because I said earlier, right, they're a little bit easier to open and they're cheaper. And then when I find that I use the strapless packs that have like no straps at all, those pods are just in the open, right? And I'm like banging onto stuff and like leaning back when I'm playing, and like the pods always seem to open when I'm using those strapless packs. So I prefer the strapped ones because the pods are more secure and they're kind of like, covering up those lids so that I'm not opening pods on accident. And for sure, it's more work. I mean, 'cause you got, you know, straps, so, you know, you're taking the pod out and you got to like pull strap down and then take the pod out, so it's more effort. So going with like, you know, strapless one, it's definitely quicker and cleaner and just kind of a simpler overall design. I think people's biggest concern with these strapless packs though is if the pods are gonna stay in. And it doesn't matter whether you have like the HK one, you got a carbon one, you got a Bunker King Supreme harness, they're all working. It doesn't matter, like all the pods stay in perfectly fine. So it's really not an issue, all those pods just stay in there. I think that if you want like super security, kind of like I do because I'm always seeming to knock into stuff all the time, maybe go with a strap one. If you want super speed, cleanness, and simplicity, just go with a strapless version. That really is the main difference, right? Whether you want like security, making sure those pods stay in place, or if you want, you know, speed, quickness, and like lightness, maybe go with the strapless one. I think my favorite strapped harness is probably the Virtue Elite harness. And then strapless, the carbon, either carbon CC or carbon SC. There's a price difference there. And some feature difference, I don't know, but the carbon strapless ones are the best. Guys, that's paintball question time. Hopefully we keep doing these a little bit more regularly. If you want your answer or question answered on here, use hashtag PBQT down below in the comments, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Baidu, Path, I don't know, internet, hashtag PBQT. Subscribe.